Hey guys!
Hey!
We are back for day 6. We are so excited that you guys have been doing this study of Esther with us, and we hope that our prayer has been that you are getting great things out of this. The Lord is speaking to you, and that you are walking things out that we're talking about here. As you know, we are in Esther, and today we're going to be talking about Mordecai and who Mordecai was to her, and about discipleship.
Yeah. So Mordecai, he was the champion from Esther, and we want to read Esther chapter 4, verse 12. It says, when Esther's words were reported to Mordecai, he sent back his answer. Do not think that because you are in the king's house, you alone of all the Jews will escape. For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arise from another place. But you and your father's family will perish. And who knows but that you have come to this royal position for such a time as this. Okay, so here we are, background. Mordecai, he is actually an older cousin, kind of like an uncle to Esther, and he took her in because her parents died. And you know what? God, he cares for the widows and he cares for the orphans, and that's just a side note. Let's reach out to them in our city and around the world. But basically what he did was he loved her and he cared for her. And so when she was chosen to be to go to the kingdom, he actually sat outside the gates and made sure that she was taken care of, that everything was okay in her life. And as he was watching over her, he heard the plot that Haman had against the Jews. And so that's when he sent a message to Esther, hey, you've got to do something because you haven't come into royal position. You have come into royal position for such a time as this. And so here they are, and Mordecai, his relationship with Esther, he has challenged her, he has pushed her, he has encouraged her, and to be who she's supposed to be in this moment. And so today we want to talk about discipleship.
So there are two parts of discipleship. There's who is pouring into you, and who are you pouring into. And you don't have to make it weird. You don't have to announce it. You don't have to be awkward about it. You just have to find somebody that's in a place that you've been before and help them walk it out. You've been in a valley. We've all been in valleys. So maybe find somebody that's in a valley right now and help them walk it out to get to the mountaintop. Use what the Lord has given you. Maybe use the words that the Lord has spoken into you, and you never know how they'll translate to their life and help them. It's just a way that we can help a sister and encourage her or cheer her on in some way. It doesn't have to be anything big. I mean, I think about us, we are busy moms with all these kids running around. Maybe it's going and picking up somebody and letting them ride along with you as you run into the grocery store. Maybe it's inviting somebody over to sit on your couch with some coffee and make them some pancakes. It doesn't have to be anything big or elaborate. It doesn't take money. The one thing it takes is effort. It takes being intentional, especially at the stage of life that we're in right now. Friendships and discipleship has to be something that we've purposed in our heart and that we are intentional about. It's not something that you can be lazy about, because it's easy to fall by the wayside because we have so many other things going on in our life and our attention's being pulled in so many other ways. But to look at another woman and say, I see you, I feel you, let me help you. That is what the Lord calls us to do. That's what Jesus did with his disciples. He saw them and he felt what they were going through and he helped them. And if we are to be like Christ, then we are to be disciples.
Definitely. And on the flip side, I want to ask, who is discipling you? And I hear this from a lot of young girls. I don't have anyone to disciple me. Nobody's pouring into me, and all of these things. And I've been there before too. But let me ask you this: when was the last time that you asked somebody out that you respected for coffee and paid for their coffee, or for lunch and paid for their lunch? everyone is busy and everyone has lives and everybody has things going on. And I know for my husband and I, everybody has their gifting. And my husband and I, we seek out the people that we admire, that we honor, that we want to pour into our lives. And so we will ask them out for coffee or for dinner, for lunch, whatever it is, and just want to spend time with them and glean from the things that they've learned and ask them to pour into our lives. But this isn't like I'm not asking someone for like a huge commitment to like, call me every single day and to pour into my life every single day. You might have that kind of relationship with somebody, but everybody has their own gift, and I think that it's like Hope said, it just takes effort. If someone were to approach me and ask me to lunch, I wouldn't turn them down, or to coffee, I wouldn't turn them down. I would go and I would hang out and I would offer, anything that I have in my heart. And everybody's on a different experience level. And so I think that like she said, she hit it nail on the head. It takes effort. There are also many women and other leaders in my life that are discipling me and they don't even know it. And that's called podcasts. That's called books. That's called, a YouTube video or whatever it is, because I am constantly trying to grow and become and to add tools to my tool belt. And that's not going to happen when I'm stagnant and I just stay the same. And so I believe that we've got to be constant learners of the word, learners of different traits, and everything that we want to become, we have at our fingertips, literally. And so I think that if we can just step out and honor the next generation above us, they won't tell you no. And if they do, then just go to somebody else, because I know there's somebody who wants to pour into you.
Yeah. So what we want to do is we just want to be intentional about discipleship.
Yeah.
So our challenge today is maybe write down a name or two. Maybe write down somebody that you honor and respect, that you want to hang out with because you want to glean from them, and you want to take in knowledge that they have that you don't have. And then maybe also write down somebody that the Lord's highlighting in your heart that you can help.
Yeah.
Take some time, sit in prayer. The Lord will bring you somebody that you need to pour into. You never know. Our words have the ability to carry life and death, and you never know if the next word that you speak to somebody alters their life for eternity.
Yeah.
And it is that important that we are discipled and that we do disciple other people. So just like Mordecai was Esther's champion and her cheerleader, let's do that for somebody else. Let's be someone else's cheerleader and encourage them in their walk with the Lord, and to step into the calling that the Lord has for them.
Love that. We'll see you tomorrow for the next day, last day, day 7.